Can disrespecting your parents truly bring karma into your life? Across centuries and cultures, filial piety, devotion and respect for one's parents, has been revered as a core virtue, especially in Eastern traditions and Buddhist teachings. It is more than a social expectation. It is believed to be a spiritual foundation upon which all other virtues are built. But what happens when this sacred bond is neglected, when gratitude is forgotten? Today, we explore a story that reveals the heartache and consequences that can arise when filial piety is cast aside, and the profound awakening that can follow. In a quiet, sun-dappled village surrounded by green fields and gentle hills lived a humble family. Their home was simple: a thatched roof, weathered walls, and a small garden where vegetables grew in neat rows. The mother, a woman of quiet strength, had raised her son alone. Her life was one of sacrifice. She rose before dawn to tend the fields, cooked simple meals, and mended their worn clothes by candlelight. She never complained, her love for her son shining through every hardship. The boy, named Mitnayin, was bright and curious. He would sit by the window at night, reading by the flickering light, his mother watching with pride as he devoured every book she could find. Despite their poverty, she encouraged his dreams, telling him that knowledge would open doors to a better life. Min excelled at school, his teachers praising his intelligence and diligence. The villagers often remarked on the bond between mother and son. They were each other's world. As Min grew older, opportunities began to appear. A scholarship to a prestigious university in the distant city arrived like a blessing. The day he left, his mother packed a small bag with food and pressed a faded photograph of the two of them into his hand. "Remember where you come from, my son," she whispered, tears glistening in her eyes. Min hugged her tightly, promising to make her proud. The city was dazzling. Tall buildings, bustling streets, and endless possibilities. Min threw himself into his studies, working part-time jobs, and gradually building a network of friends and mentors. His talent and ambition did not go unnoticed. Upon graduation, he was offered a coveted position at a leading company, and soon after, he launched his own business. Success followed swiftly. Luxury apartments, designer suites, and invitations to exclusive parties became his new reality. But as Min's world transformed, the threads connecting him to his humble beginnings began to fray. He started to feel embarrassed about his rural roots and the mother who had sacrificed so much for him. When colleagues asked about his family, he would change the subject or offer vague answers. Letters from his mother arrived regularly, filled with news of the village and gentle reminders to take care of himself. Min, preoccupied with meetings and social events, left them unopened on his desk. Phone calls went unanswered, and holidays passed with empty promises to visit soon. One winter, his mother fell ill. The neighbors sent word to Min, urging him to return home. But he was in the middle of a critical business deal, and the thought of leaving everything behind, even briefly, seemed impossible. He assured himself she would recover, that he would visit when things settled down. Days turned into weeks, and then came the news. His mother had passed away quietly, still hoping to see her son one last time. For a moment, Min's world stood still. But the demands of city life pressed on, and he buried his grief beneath layers of work and distraction. Yet something had shifted. Small misfortunes began to creep into his life. Business deals that once seemed certain began to unravel. Partners backed out, clients disappeared without explanation. Trusted friends betrayed him, spreading rumors and undermining his reputation. At night, Min was plagued by vivid nightmares. His mother, dressed in rags, standing alone in the rain, her eyes filled with silent sorrow. Sometimes she would turn and walk away, disappearing into the mist. At first, Min dismissed these events as coincidence, the nightmares as stress-induced illusions. But as the setbacks accumulated and the dreams grew more intense, a deep unease settled over him. He found himself unable to focus, haunted by a sense of loss and regret that no amount of success could erase. The city, once vibrant and full of promise, now felt cold and empty. One evening, after another sleepless night, Min wandered the streets until he found himself standing before an old temple. The air was thick with the scent of incense, the soft glow of lanterns casting gentle shadows on the worn stone steps. Drawn by a force he could not explain, Min entered and knelt before the altar, his heart heavy with sorrow. A monk approached, his presence calm and compassionate. He listened as Min poured out his story, the pride, the neglect, the missed goodbyes, and the relentless guilt. The monk spoke softly, sharing the teachings of filial piety and the law of karma. Our parents give us life, nurture us with love and sacrifice. To forget their kindness is to forget the roots of our own being. Karma is not punishment. It is the natural result of our actions, the ripples we send out into the world and the echoes that return. Min wept, the weight of his choices crashing over him. He realized that no achievement could fill the void left by his mother's absence. No wealth could buy back the time he had squandered. But the monk offered hope. Repentance is not just regret, it is the beginning of transformation. Acts of merit, done with a sincere heart, can bring healing to both the living and the departed. Determined to honor his mother's memory, Min began to change. He donated generously to charities that cared for the elderly, remembering how his mother had grown old alone. He volunteered at local shelters, serving meals and listening to the stories of those forgotten by society. He built a small shrine in his home, placing his mother's photograph and lighting incense each morning, offering prayers of gratitude and remembrance. As time passed, Min felt a quiet peace return to his life. The nightmares faded, replaced by dreams of his mother smiling gently, her spirit at rest. His business slowly recovered, and new, trustworthy friends entered his life. Yet the wound remained, a reminder of the cost of neglect and the importance of gratitude. Through his journey, Min learned a lesson that transcends culture and creed. Gratitude is not optional. The way we treat our parents creates ripples that touch every aspect of our lives, shaping our destiny in ways we may not immediately see. Filial piety is not just an old tradition. It is the root of all virtue, the foundation upon which a meaningful life is built. As you listen to this story, take a moment to reflect on your own life. Have you expressed your love and respect to your parents while they are still here? Have you shown gratitude for the sacrifices they made, the love they gave, often silently and without expectation? The bonds between parent and child are sacred, yet fragile, easily taken for granted but irreplaceable once lost. In Buddhist teachings, the cycle of karma reminds us that our actions, both great and small, return to us in time. To neglect filial piety is to sow seeds of sorrow, but to honor it is to cultivate a garden of peace and fulfillment. The story of Min and his mother is a poignant reminder that success without gratitude is empty, and that the truest measure of our character lies in how we cherish those who gave us life. If this story has moved you, let it serve as a gentle reminder. Reach out to your parents, express your gratitude, and honor their role in your journey. Share this message with others, for filial piety is not merely a personal virtue. It is a universal lesson, a guiding light that can heal families, strengthen communities, and bring harmony to our world. In the end, the love between parent and child is a gift beyond measure. Treasure it, nurture it, and let it inspire you to live with kindness, humility, and gratitude. For in honoring our parents, we honor the very essence of our humanity and set in motion a legacy of virtue that will endure for generations to come.